You, the person that has assembled all of these awesome bands together for Pharmapalooza. I'm here today with Jason Mansavage. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm excellent. How about you, Heidi?
I'm doing great. I'm
It's been a long time
super
since I've seen
excited.
you.
I know, right? It's been
Probably
at
what,
least seven
2017
weeks.
maybe?
Yeah, a long time.
Well,
Um,
Mass was on the Savage Fest, I think, with were you the year for when Wayne died or were you the year after?
I was the year Wayne died.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, the show must go on, but yeah, we have stories from that one, I guess.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I think I don't know. Did you come out and see Mast in 2016 when we did our reunion show that year?
I don't think I did. I remember you on Savage Fest and I saw you at that there was a place in Fondie where some of the Nationals played. It had a bar, but it had these doors that went into a big like I don't know gymnasium area. I don't
Yeah,
remember what it was called. It
Tanners,
was
I
pretty.
think.
It
That's
was pretty. No, I'm talking about the one that you guys played in Fondy.
oh. Hmm. Well, no,
I
I
don't
but
remember.
it's been a long time.
There,
It's been 7 years for sure.
I don't even remember that one, but it's not. It's I've only been there once, but I know there's some nationals that played there, so it was a little. It was bigger. Anyway, carry
Anyway,
on.
so it's been a while. So it's pretty cool because in just a few short days, we're gonna see each other in person. So
Yes,
that's crazy.
I know. I can't believe I got you to come back.
I can't believe you got me to come back. But dude, when I saw like all of the other bands that you had playing, all of the other female fronted bands, like other doom metal bands, I was just like, oh my goodness, like he's found my people. Like, and he put them together. I was like, how could I turn this down? Like this.
I told Jared, well, not Jared. I told Brody that we could actually do an all female, fronted show. People don't like that word female fronted, but whatever. I love the female voice, so I love watching females sing. It doesn't matter if they're hot or whatever they are, whatever voices. I love the voice. Anyway, I digress. Um, yeah, we talked about putting some together. There are enough bands, probably in the tri-state area that have female vocalists that we could do an entire show. But we just decided to try it out a little bit this year and put it together this way. I got who I could and went on from there.
So how did this whole thing with Farm of Palooza start? And Brody, how did you meet?
Brody and I met. I was friends with his wife before they're married on Facebook, and there was a time they were booking this festival. It was called Broda Zaffa Fest, and this was back in 2020 when COVID was going on. And I was thinking about going to this show. They had a few bands that I liked, um, but it was like they wanted $50 to play and stuff, and it was 2 nights, or not $50 for like a ticket for the weekend or something. And they had a pig roast, and I'd never been to one of those and stuff. And one of the bands that was supposed to play dropped off for political reasons because they didn't like someone else in one of the other bands, and they said they'd never work with them again. And I had noticed they said, "Oh, we're looking for a band." So being myself, I jumped right in and say, "Hey, I'm a promoter. I can help." I said, "I got this awesome band that you should book called Evoked," and they hadn't heard of Evoked. I'm like, "So you're from the local scene? Evoked's been around like 20 years," and they're like, "Oh no, we never heard of them." So I brought them on board, and they enjoyed it, and you know, I saved myself the $50 entry fee because that's how I charged to book the band. That way I could still eat the free pig and, have a good time. And it rained, which sucked, but it was still, you could tell the unity formed right there. It was a lot of local people that came to see the show, even people from other bands that support it. So that year was called the Brodazafa. And then they decided they wanted to change it. He wanted the venue to be called the Brodazafa Soundgarden instead. So that next year, um, one of the guys in Wizard Hammer, one of the other bands that played the show, he suggested we name the show Farmageddon. So we went with that instead. Pharmapalooza came about because after we had Farmageddon, we discussed having, why don't we do a show that has clean vocals, basically, vocals you can understand. We might
Uh-oh, Jason, you muted yourself.
could think of, as long as the vocals was clean. And we even booked that one band that's kind of a funk rock band, Illuminati. So they're a little different as well, and Queen of Dreams, they're a 6-piece progressive metal band. All these bands got a little different sound to them, but all essentially focusing back on clean vocals. So we did that. It went well. We decided to do another one. So this year, September, let's see, 8th and 9th, that's going to be our third Farmageddon. And this year is our second Farmapalooza. Last year was successful. I brought a few of the bands back. They all wanted to come back because everybody here kind of loves the atmosphere at the Brodas Off. Real laid back and welcoming to everybody, and private land, no sound ordinance. I mean, we keep it respectable. We only play till midnight, but we party till dawn around the bonfire. But we're not quite as loud as the bands, so we usually get away with it.
Well, you are in the middle of a farmer's field. I suppose that helps a little bit.
Well, we're not in a part of the field where they grow crops. Although right behind where they play, there's always like a big field of corn. So by September it'll be huge. You probably won't see much of it at this early in the season. It looks pretty badass at Farmageddon though. A lot of pictures in the corn.
The children of the corn.
Tell everybody watch Children of the Corn before they come out, because it'll help with the camping aspect of it. Maybe, I
don't know. Yeah.
I'm getting dry here. I'm getting old. See my mug? It's got water. I promise.
Oh, nice. What I like about what you guys are doing, I've been visiting Wisconsin since I left, and like one of my favorite places to play, Ziggy's, closed. A bunch of other places in Fond du Lac closed, and COVID then didn't help.
No.
And so the amount of places where you can go and see local live music, at least in my stomping grounds, seem to get reduced. So having this is like a kind of unique, awesome venue, and even just having an event 2 times a year kind of makes it like a special, oh my gosh, we can't miss it.
And that first year, I hate to interrupt, that first year we did it, not for the Farmapalooza, but for the Brodas Alpha Fest. It was a private only event. We didn't put invites out to the public. We kind of tested the waters first. I thought I'd interject because my train of thought makes me interrupt people. So I apologize.
That's okay.
You know me by now. Now I interrupt your train of thought when we got a whole thing going on.
Okay, so Farmapalooza is in just a couple days. So what do you want people to know before they come? Anything like that?
Well, be prepared for the weather because you never know. We got a big tent, so even if it rains, you're not going to get wet under the big tent, but you might get wet walking back and forth to the camp or your car or whatever. It is a BYOB, so people need to know to bring their own B, which could be beer, booze, or other Bs that we won't discuss. But that's up to you. We do have a food truck. It is name's escaping me right now, but they serve German food. So if you're not into that, or if you're a vegan, you probably want to bring your own food, which is allowed. We are allowing grilling as well, as far as we talked about. I know they don't want people to build their own little fires because we've had people do that. That's too hard to control. We have like 2 bonfires going on. So, but yeah, everybody, bring a chair, especially if you're older like me. You can't stand for that long. Bring a chair. We do have a couple vendors, so bring extra cash. I mean, you can buy stuff from them. You can buy stuff from all the bands. Every band kind of gets their own little area to sell merch. We're not like the big guys. We don't take any percentage of your merch. So whatever you buy from the bands, it's all going to them. We also pay every band, which a lot of these bands don't get paid for some of these things.
That's right. And
It's
that's
not
what
a
makes you
lot.
awesome.
It's not a lot of money, and it's probably more money for the bands that don't live far because they all get paid the same amount essentially, except for maybe headliners or something that we might want to work something out. Um, like last year we had Wrath play and stuff, and they're a nationally, internationally known thrash metal act from Chicago. You know, it was not a long drive for them either. They wanted to play, so we had them play. Um, well, here I am talking about Farmageddon again. My mind's getting crazy. All these farm names.
You know how many
Because
times
now
I
it's
accidentally said the wrong name during all of these interviews? I'm like, Pharma, crap,
yeah.
which one is
And
it?
now Stu's got farm stock, and we got all these other different ones. Um, the first two were original though. Farmageddon was the original. Farmapalooza was the other one, and then everybody else. Brody allows other people to like rent the land if they want to do their own show. Bring a chair, like I said, if you want to sit. We got a lot of space, probably fit a couple hundred under a tent at the very least, maybe even more. I don't know. We filled it up pretty good, but yeah, come prepared to see a bunch of cool bands, and it's kind of we call it the farm family. There's everybody kind of knows each other, and every year they might bring a friend, and then they're a part of the family because it's kind of a word of mouth thing. You have to be there and actually experience the atmosphere that we create because it's not like anything you've ever been to. It's not like one of these rock USAs where everybody's all jam packed together and dying of heat stroke in the middle of the day, or Ozfest walking up and down that 20-mile hill at Alpine Valley to go, see bands or whatever. It's a really cool thing, and it's small, and we don't want it to be huge. We've discussed starting to bring in other nationals and maybe things we can maybe find in our price range that are willing to come. So we're not going to bring in Metallica for $1 million, but we might be able to find some other bands that are within our price range. It really just depends. There's different expansion talks, and Brody even went out and joined the Lions Club, because they were talking about throwing shows and making some kind of venue in the area too. So I don't know. That's a bunch of political garbage I don't know anything about anyway. So I can't speak for it. But, you know, that's just kind of how everything came about. I started helping them out with it, and I've been there for whatever questions Brody, them when they have, and it's all Brody will request bands every once in a while, but he doesn't have the same kind of knowledge I do as far as local bands. But that's because I scout bands. I go to a lot of local shows. I just love Bandcamp. I go on there all the time. I can listen to music. I have found out that if you listen to an album too many times on Bandcamp, you either have to buy it or you can't hear it anymore.
I found that out with my own music when I started working on it in the car. And so I was like, were you playing this song? And it's like, all of a sudden it cut me off. And I was like, you cut me off on my own song? Okay, fine. I'll go get my
that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me at Black Road. I was so impressed. I listened to it like every day, all the time. And all of a sudden, it's like, it wouldn't let me listen to it anymore. So I had to fork over the cash, which is not a big deal. I love supporting local music. And I was looking all over today for my Mass t-shirt. And I couldn't find it. I don't know where the hell I put it. Because I was
good news. I got some vintage Mass t-shirts I'm bringing up with me. And we got a whole new online store now. So
yeah, well, back then I was a large. Now I'm a double X. So I mean, I just my closet's full of medium up to triple X. It's like crazy. And then if I can fluctuate my weight, I can go back down and wear something from before. But
well, luckily for you, we knew we were in Wisconsin, so we ordered a bunch of like X, and X.
Yeah, for us cheese creators. We're not
Awesome.
pleasing the geese,
Okay,
we're pleasing
so
the cheese.
is there anything else that you want people to know before? Oh, I've got a good question. What time can I show up on Friday?
I believe that Brody and Kelly have the entire day off. You would have to reconfirm with them. I'll have the whole day off because I'm not working right now. So yeah, anytime. Well, not too early in the morning, at least. I would say in the afternoon, maybe.
But especially like if you're camping and stuff, you might want to
Yeah,
roll in
well,
early.
everything will be
Get
set up by Thursday. The tent goes up Thursday. We have people that bring campers in ahead of time too. You know, if they're from closer around town.
all
And then
right.
we have all the tents in an area. You're renting a camper? Do you bring in a tent or what?
Me,
Or
I'm
are you getting a hotel room?
I'm probably going to get a hotel down the road. I told
Okay.
my mom I was going to sleep in my car, and she said absolutely not. I was like, but
Yeah.
mom,
That's
like
bad
it's
for
okay.
your back.
She's like, you're too old to sleep in your car, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's what it is.
oh well, you're probably right. Like it's going to be harder to rock out
Yeah.
on Saturday from sleeping in
Yeah.
the car on Friday. Fine. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm trying to
Um,
think of what else to bring. I mean, dress for the weather if you have to. I mean,
mhm.
if you got an umbrella or ponchos and stuff, bring them. Um, like I said, chairs. Um, bring your own bee. Bring your own ice. We have ice and stuff here and there, but it's not like usually for sale ice. So I mean, because I bring my own cooler with my own ice and my bottle of Bacardi and my Coke, because that's what I drink out of my big skull mug. I don't drink like I used to, so it's not like I go through a whole bottle. But everybody's got their own stuff. People bring shots. Sometimes people bring stuff to give out free. I've seen that happen because we got areas near the back of the tent where we got these tall bar things, and sometimes people just put up community bottles up there. I've
Well,
seen
that's
that
very
happen.
nice.
Or there'll be a band that brings like Jello shots or something. Um, a lot of times Brody will have a giant cooler in the middle, and he gives away, like free beer sometimes and stuff. But I mean, yeah, your own beer, your own soda, you bring your own, food, whatever you want to do, whatever you need to survive for, the couple days.
For 2 days. Awesome.
It's
Well,
not like you're out in the middle of the woods. I mean, we're outside of town. We're in the country. You know, the neighbors aren't right across the street. Well, there's one next door, but they don't care. But I mean, it's not like we're out in the woods either way up north. Hey, where there's no civilization. Um, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump into town. I've tried to talk Shane into using his quickies delivery vehicle to run errands for people that need something that run out. You know,
right.
charge them a delivery fee, and he could run into town and get them more alcohol, smokes, whatever they need. But we haven't ever really kind of figured it out.
Now we're talking. Yeah, we need our own delivery service just for the festival. That's a great
I
idea.
think I believe Papa John's delivers that far out. We ordered Papa John's pizzas a couple of years back at like 1 in the morning. We're all sitting around the fire. People are playing acoustic guitar. They were the only ones that came way out there, but they did. So that was kind of cool.
Nice.
That was before food trucks and stuff.
Oh, the food truck's going to be there both days, Friday and
Yeah,
Saturday, or just Saturday?
yeah. There's only one food truck that I know of for now.
And they'll be there both days or just Saturday?
Both days.
All right. All right. Well, Jason, thanks for joining me today and giving everybody all of the details on what to expect this weekend. So you
That
can
was
go,
fast.
that was really fast, right? So,
How many questions I answered? Two?
what did you say?
How many questions did I answer? Like two?
I think there was like five.
Oh, I just babble on so much I lose track of time. I have no idea. But I mean, that's part of doing the promoter thing. I can sit there and BS with people and try to get them to come to shows and things and word them out. That's what it's about.
Word of mouth. That's what it's all about. And enjoying some band family. I hear that.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it's great to see how the local bands kind of get together and actually watch each other play because then you get a lot of that tech talk, and stuff. Oh, your guitar, what pickups you use, and oh, what picks or what sticks, That's all. So that's beyond me because I'm not a musician. But I mean, it's nice to get everybody that same world together like that, you know. Plus, all playing outside and having a good time. So a lot of bands actually do come and camp the whole weekend and stay and watch, you know, if they don't have a gig.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of the bands I talked to that I interviewed, at least half of them said that they were going to be hanging out or they were going to try and figure out how to do it. Some of them had to leave for shows and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but I can't wait. This is just in a couple days, so I hope all of you out there that are watching this interview are going to join us. That's in Kekona, Wisconsin, Pharmapalooza,
Yes.
and it's Friday the 9th and the 10th. So I hope you guys all join us. You can go to hallisthebound.com/Pharmapalooza. There's a link there so you can go buy your tickets. You can get tickets at the door, correct, Jason, also?
Yes. Yes.
All right, cool. And we will see you all this weekend. I'm Heidi with Austin Entertainment Management.
All right. Sounds awesome.